Welcome back, everyone.
Afternoon, friends.
Joe here.
Kevin.
All right, so far, we've got 2 episodes, because they blew the show up extensively, right?
Right, sure.
So we got 2 episodes into that. We followed Santos and Josh. Mm-hmm. Last week we had Leo back figuring things out, kind of telling the administration, hey, we have 1 year left. Let's make this happen. Let's do the things that we want to do. Let's focus on that. And I love that sentiment. I'm wondering now, are we going back to the campaign trail? Are we going to stay in the West Wing? How is this structurally going to look? You know what I mean?
I don't know.
How is this balance going to happen?
I don't know if it's going to be a consistent structure. Maybe we do kind of a little bit episode to episode. I'm guessing, especially when we get to season 7, that we just kind of jump around in the episodes. You know what I mean?
Would imagine
like
so.
we don't spend a whole episode with Santos and Josh and whoever they're with, or a whole episode at West Wing.
Because that could get clunky. I feel like
for sure.
I feel like that would just kind of throw the pace off of things.
I just feel like structurally, I don't feel like this show's the kind of show where you get in. It's like, oh, we're in the West Wing this episode. Oh, we're with Santos this episode. Yeah. Oh, we're with Vinick this episode. You know what I mean? I just feel like I don't think this is the kind of show that wants you to feel like I've nailed this episode 1 minute into the episode as far as what we're doing. I
agree with that, and I'm hoping that you're right too, because that would be very weird if that was the turn they took. Because when you blow a show up, you open the doors creatively to do whatever you want to do. And I love that we're in a territory now where we really haven't seen this on the show.
Right.
I love that they're breaking new ground. For the characters and for the structure of it, for that matter. So I've been enjoying the heck out of this season, man.
Me too. I do think at some point we will get a largely Vinick episode, because we've really got to get to know him. Yes. And again, that might just be me selfishly wanting more Alan Alda on the show.
I'm right there with you. We've predicted it for like 2 weeks now. We're
like,
Vinick.
Where's Vinick? They've set him up so well, better than any. I wouldn't even call him a villain, because I don't think he is.
He didn't
but
come off villainous at all,
foe, kind of, at least to the party.
That's interesting, though. Do you think they vilify him towards the end?
I don't think they do. The only reason I say that is, one, you've cast Alan Alda.
Sure. He doesn't scream bad guy, does he?
No, he screams like even if he's on the other team, or however you want to put it, he's such a charismatic guy.
Very much.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And I feel like we've been there, done that with Richie.
Yeah.
That I think the show is more interesting if we have a opposition party,
kind of like a toss-up,
that's run by a person you can really like.
Yeah.
I really hope that's the case, because we've definitely done that on the show with smaller characters.
Sure.
The Ainsley Hayeses and the Joes, and Joe Quimby, I think was his name, and a couple of other characters. But a presidential candidate, when you have an election, that you're like, maybe you don't hate that guy going in.
I still love the idea that you had where the show could end under a Republican administration. Like we talked about that.
Yeah, but you're good with it, because it's not like it wouldn't be the same as it was if it obviously plug someone else in, but like season 4, if Richie would have beaten the Democratic candidate, we'd had President Richie. Yeah. That would have been like, well, this is kind of a dark turn. We have a stupid president again.
Turn on TV and watch that today.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But the idea that the other party ends up winning at the end of the show.
Sure. I think that'd be very interesting.
But it's somebody like, okay, I like where this is going, and this makes sense.
Yeah.
It's not the end of the world that happened. Mm-hmm. In this world.
Sure.
In our world, it's like, we're sorry, Canada. We still love you. We promise we're not coming to take you over. And it's so embarrassing we have to say things like that.
It really is. On a lighter note, I work at a bar, and we do trivia nights on Tuesdays. And one of the trivia team names, as a joke, this was as a joke, the team name was, there's a new tariff in town. And that made me laugh.
That's pretty funny, actually.
That was solid.
Tariff? What's that mean? We get all the Chinese money? All right. We should go ahead and get started here. I want to thank all of our Patreon subscribers for being here with us, and give a special thank you to Actuarial Lurker, Balazs Foldes, Chris, Coincidence, Derek Peterson, Jamie Morgan, Jeff, Christy Goverson, NJ, Sudugundavarapu, Torgeir Linkstad, and WerePanda47. Thanks a lot, friends. As always, we're really glad you're here with us.
Yes, we are. And if you're watching us for the first time on YouTube, welcome to our channel. If you mind hitting the like button for us, please leave us a comment down below, and hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on the new content we have coming your way.
If you would like to see a full-length reaction to this and everything else we've watched or we are watching, please check out a link in the description below to our Patreon page. Every show, including The West Wing, we are at least 4 episodes ahead on Patreon of where we're on YouTube. There are copyright laws out there, so on our Patreon page, you will have to sync and watch along on your own source material. You're only going to see and hear us. Mm-hmm. King Corn.
Nice.
This is an ethanol one. We've talked about ethanol before with corn.
Yeah. What's the...
Or he's going to Iowa. Never mind. It's Iowa.
I was going to say, where was he going?
Iowa caucus used to be much bigger than it is now.
I love this. This is cool.
You going to need me in the morning?
I'll call Mindy if I do.
Okay.
Okay, so this is Donna. This is
Russell's.
Bob Russell's team. Yeah.
Mr. Bailey's still in the cafe. 5:45 wake-up call?
Yeah, or you could just have someone come to my room and hit me over the head with a mallet or something.
The campaign schedule is no joke, man. I remember reading articles about candidates and their teams up 20 hours a day working.
You just don't sleep for 2 years.
Yeah.
Don't be a tease.
$500,000.
Hey. Wow.
That is Dick Whitman's brother.
Oh my gosh, that's Adam. Yeah.
Yep.
Why do we want them in the debates aside from, the neutering thing?
The more wackos we put around him, the more Hoynes looks like just another clown. Okay, morning staff at 6:30.
Are we going to call them Bob's Boulders?
If they keep signing those checks on a trip they call themselves the Flying Melendez.
Will is good at his job.
Yeah.
Which is too bad because Bob Russell sucks.
We caught some flack for saying that Bob Russell sucks, but
We did?
yeah, it's just he's not a bad guy.
No, he's not a bad guy. I just
not a
don't think
bad
he's a
guy.
capable guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we can't afford at least 200 points out of Boston, we got to find another way.
Oh, Josh.
Well, that's awkward. I mean, there would be overlap. You're there for campaigning the same place at the same time.
Yeah, just talk it out, guys.
Yeah.
We're focusing on New Hampshire right now.
God, that was a terrible elevator ride.
Yeah, of course. Same floor and everything.
Yeah.
We're back to this lighting. Have you noticed the lighting on the
Yeah.
campaign trails is so much different?
Yeah. It's a lot more stark. It's a lot less soft than the rest of the show.
South Carolina.
Marriott. Charleston.
They got that nice looking pool.
Night.
Yeah. See?
God, they're neighbors.
We're doing it too fast.
I get frequent flyer miles every time I sweat.
That's funny.
Yeah, I bet he's just exhausted. It's the last thing you want to deal with right now. But you're going to have to.
Yep. Nice.
Oh,
Alan Alda's in the opening credits, and
here's
I'm
the
okay with that.
First build. Okay. All right.
Good.
I guess.
You get no complaints from me on that.
Okay, cool. I wonder if that's why folks didn't want us to watch the opening credits.
We do. He's not a surprise.
Yeah.
He's not a surprise like Jimmy Smits was.
Sure. Yeah, it'd be kind of crappy if, episode 1, it was Alan Alda. We're like,
Right,
what?
yeah, for sure. I'd been so mad.
Yeah.
Gary Cole isn't, so I really do. I mean, obviously,
that's
he's
a
not the
great
same
point.
kind of star, so I do feel like these are going to be our candidates.
That is a fantastic point.
Morning. This is your 5:45 a.m. wake-up call.
I hate you.
Yeah, the lighting. You're right. It is so stark by comparison.
I love it.
I do
really
too. I love the change.
I'm going to look and see who shot it, too, because the last campaign episode was shot by Dean Cundy.
Okay.
It was one of the cinematographers.
Sexually involved with a co-worker, was convicted of adultery this morning and sentenced to death for her crime.
Yeah, look, this is like a freaking David Fincher movie or something. You know
yeah.
what I mean?
That looks so good.
No, why that coffee looks so good?
Because it's freezing here right now.
The execution to go forward.
Where are we in the ethanol speech?
EP loves ethanol, showers in it every morning.
Comment on Turkey.
What's the president saying?
They're going to behead her for sleeping with a
Who's
coworker.
got the wonderful world of corn? That'd be me. And an alternative
We're
fuel.
sure Hoynes is going to flip.
Believe me, Hoynes is taking the ethanol pledge. This is a guy who, if he's speaking to a group of cannibals, will promise them
The
missionaries.
handheld's really good, too.
Do what?
The handheld's really good, too.
Yeah.
5 days to the caucuses, 19 days to New Hampshire.
I really want a Bob Russell cutout. I'm so bad.
Yeah. I would love one.
I would put that in the little office room I have at the house where I record Game of Thrones. I put this right in the background.
You ever been to one of these crazy caucuses, Trevor?
Yeah, my grandmother runs one down at her church every 4 years.
Look, we take the responsibility of screening the presidential candidates for the rest of the nation very seriously.
Guy wins Iowa, all it means he's learned how to speak intelligently about soybeans and farm implements.
I mean, Iowa and New Hampshire really was the worst as far as they're the most important two states in the election.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah.
The family farm is the backbone of America.
I think they were looking for something a bit more substantial.
Well, what do they expect? I'm going to come out against farm subsidies in Iowa? It's a tragedy about that woman in Turkey. We issue a statement? You deplore it.
Mr. Edgars, your platform would allow all
Friendly
citizens
fascist.
to carry a concealed weapon.
Not allow, require. What we got now is anarchy. An armed citizenry will take back our cities.
Yes. Gun violence is always solved by more guns.
Yeah, right. It's like putting a fire out with a fire.
Right. I still don't want Donna's job.
No.
You got a a chance to look at the ethanol speech on the plane?
Yeah, seems fine. Who else is speaking?
Coins before you.
You think Arnie's gonna say
Clark said it's another
ethanol is a
one.
colossal waste of the taxpayers' money? Thanks, Shelley.
Vinick will flip, has to.
I was in the Senate last time he made his anti-ethanol speech. Whew. He's passionate. You really think Vinick can wriggle out from under his ethanol record?
He'll wiggle, he'll squirm, but he'll say as senator he voted against it because it wasn't good for California.
Yeah, Vinick's not wrong about ethanol. It takes more oil to transport it and fertilize it than we save using.
That's
So
true.
you're not considering changing the speech.
And do you want to ban motorcycle helmets, color television, drop out of the UN, abolish Medicare, and totally privatize Social Security?
This is extreme on this show, but now these people
normal.
are pretty
Yeah,
normal.
it's pretty straightforward.
These are the same people that want to get rid of school lunches now.
I know.
We're gonna need some time after the trip tonight for debate prep. The black and brown's coming out.
Santos get to stand up there holier than thou, while the rest of us loiter around looking like those two albino twins from The Matrix.
The Matrix 2.
Reloaded, I think it's called. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't put these French candidates on stage with serious commitments.
That guy was definitely there in Jan
Yeah.
6.
Yeah.
We're set on this ethanol speech.
Don't worry. I'm gonna take the pledge. I was thinking about throwing a little something about drastically reducing sugar subsidies.
It's interesting we got Will to admit a little bit.
A little bit that maybe he's not the right guy.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying this just because I'm in Iowa. We need more ethanol production.
It's not already, is it?
It's fit everywhere.
Yep.
I voted to subsidize.
Iowa is America. Oh, is this are we gonna get Josh's day too?
I hope so.
Good morning.
And we're going to see the juxtaposition of how low scale
Oh,
his
yeah,
operation
right.
is, you know what I mean?
Compared to him with this big bus
They
and
don't
everything.
got a charter bus, yeah.
In the most recent attempt to revamp Turkey's 78-year-old penal code,
Donna had her coffee ready to go for the morning, and he had to do it.
That's
Interesting,
true,
yeah.
the United States remains committed to strengthening ties with Turkey.
Did Andreas send over the markups on the dispersal? Yeah. I want to weigh in on it before it goes to the floor.
The what? It's a diner. They line up mason jars with each candidate's name on it, and every customer gets a coffee bean to toss in their favorites.
What are you going to say about ethanol?
Best thing since soft serve.
What's up after the corn expo?
Back here for prep on the brown and black debate.
You're right. The handheld really works in this,
very
as far as just showing how out of control it all is.
I love it.
Parking lot, 10 minutes.
They're executing her because she slept with her fiance. Thank God she didn't cook him breakfast.
Hey, we execute minors.
Honey, $1 billion a year to make a gasoline additive?
I'm going to go get my coat. Kiss the kids goodbye.
I like his wife. I like her a lot.
Yeah, Terry Polo's great.
$1 billion that could be spent on child health care, prenatal care, Head Start education.
I think she and Josh need to go get drunk together and have it out.
Have it out a little bit.
We both love your husband.
Here's what I'm about.
Yeah.
You know, Helen's not wrong about ethanol.
No, please, come on.
It's bad for the environment. It's expensive. Farm subsidies began as a way to help farmers in the Depression. It's decades out of date. It's corporate welfare.
Repeat after me. Family farming is a precious way of life in this country, and we're going to do everything we can to protect it.
Well, I want to take another look at the ethanol speech when we get
No,
back. As
absolutely
soon as we
not.
get back on the bus.
It's not going to happen.
You doing it again?
Yeah.
Something about foreign nationals serving in the military without being given citizenship.
And I'm not throw them open, but make some kind of sense out of our immigration law.
Good luck with that one.
Yeah, I was going to say. I agree with Hoynes, by the way. Not Hoynes, Santos, by the way.
Lack of opportunity is the root of all our divisions. We need to lower the deficit, lower interest rates, and create more private sector jobs.
You're trying to steer me towards middle-of-the-road positions that appeal to C-SPAN viewers.
Yeah.
Kids who grow up fatherless are more likely to suffer emotional consequences and twice as likely to engage in criminal activities. We haven't done half as much to force deadbeat dads to pay for child support.
You're not dead.
Yeah. I like Santos.
Me too.
It is.
Big time. I agree.
Supporting ethanol is a mistake. I want to see that speech.
He is a wild card as a candidate, though, isn't he?
He is. I think that's a good thing.
Well, you see Russell doing the dance, and he's not. And it's one of the reasons
radical,
I like
yeah.
him more.
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Well, I can't exactly fly it from back here.
Everybody said?
That's awesome.
Don't think I'll ever get tired of doing barrel rolls.
It's like Ted on Mad Men.
A little
Flies
bit, yeah.
on plane.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Ethanol is good for our economy, good for our environment.
4 lines at the top of the speech. Think of it as a quick trip to the dentist.
I'm a pretty good flosser.
Rhonda, do we know who's been here already?
Hoynes this morning, Russell about an hour ago.
We can see the contrast in the same venue.
Yeah.
I'm going to go in there and I'm going to tell these people the truth.
This could work.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been hearing the same thing
Right.
probably all night.
You walk out there on that stage and you come out against ethanol, you are dead meat.
You want me to support something I know to be lousy policy and a colossal waste of taxpayers' money.
So that a year from now, when you are sworn in as president, you can make the changes we both know need to be made.
It's also a good
That's
point.
a really good point,
That's a really
too.
good point, yeah.
Josh isn't stupid either.
This is why this is so tricky. 'Cause
Yeah,
they're both
it is.
right. They're both
It's a tough tightrope
Yeah,
to walk, you
yeah.
know?
Ladies and gentlemen, Congressman Matthew Santos.
If he does, Josh and his wife are definitely going to have to sit down and talk.
Absolutely.
I honestly have no idea what he's going to do.
What are you going to do, Santos?
Ethanol is good for our economy,
Yeah.
good for our environment.
Look, yeah, it's gonna pan to her. She's gonna be
Yeah,
livid.
let's change focus to her here.
Just staring daggers at him.
All motor fuels come from renewable resources.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to talk about the dramatic steps that we must take.
Kind of sold out a little bit there, though.
I mean, in the
But
primary, he had to. Josh is completely
Josh is
right.
completely right. And so is he. Oh, we're getting Vinick's too.
Good.
Yeah.
Yay.
I didn't even consider that.
Great.
Watch him just crush it. You know.
Was convicted of adultery this morning. Leaders are expressing concern that the country's laws might be moving closer to Islamic law.
What is going to be the outcome of the Turkey situation?
Yeah, we might have the next episode where we go to the White House to focus on that.
Sure.
Party's getting behind him. They're trying to unseat Lockman.
All right, we have a couple of
Stephen
house
Root.
stops and then on to Hamburg in
What sitcom was she on?
Iowa Corn Growers Association.
Was it the Tim Allen one?
Home Improvement.
Yeah.
Was she? I can't remember.
She looks like familiar from a sitcom.
Did we get any mileage out of Bartlett and this turkey thing?
He criticized the decision while reaffirming our commitment to regional autonomy. You got crumbs. Oh, great. Now if I want a snack, I just have to reach down into the carpet.
Tell him. Got the new field poll. You're at 5%.
So I'm up a little.
5.
Farmers in America don't want to get paid in the mailbox. They want to get paid in the marketplace.
There's issue 1, 2, and 3 here.
I'm not a panderer.
It's unavoidable.
I love that.
Oh, I did too.
I love that.
Our lifestyle and values are under siege. The trade deficit's at record levels.
Isn't the deficit due to NAFTA as much as anything else?
Trade creates jobs, period. I mean, do you think that farmers should decide what they get to plant? Or should that be left up to some bureaucrat back in Washington?
10% ethanol in every gas tank in America. We can reduce worldwide oil demand by 2%.
We're just
2 years
trying
ago,
to...
I called it highway robbery. Now I'm supposed to hand out ski masks.
Oh, that's good.
Making a gallon of ethanol takes almost a gallon of oil.
So he's going to be against ethanol.
He's going to come out on the right side of
So
this.
Santos missed out on it.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
At least look at the ethanol report.
It's a classic study of a stupid policy rammed down our throats by special interests.
I'm kind of loving him.
Yeah.
I'm for free trade, but shouldn't it be fair trade?
Do we really want workers in Malaysia to be earning our minimum wage? I mean, do you have any idea what real estate costs in Kuala Lumpur?
That's a good point too.
Yeah.
These subsidies are what give us the corn glut. That's why we make 20 million tons of corn sweetener a year. Average American eats or drinks 93 pounds of it. And we wonder why we have an obesity problem with kids.
That's really true too on the corn syrup.
Remember when that was a thing?
Yeah.
Was it 2 Super Bowls ago? And people started protesting Bud Light for that?
Yeah.
What did you expect?
How about, as senator, I pandered to Californians? I mean, if Iowa weren't first, if it were third, you know what it would be? South Dakota primary.
I agree with most of what he's saying as well. So far, I like 2 of these candidates a lot.
Have that profiles and spinelessness feature of yours?
It's on the front.
You ready, Senator?
If he does come out against it, how much do you think Santos regrets that he didn't?
Oh, a lot.
Yeah.
The opposing party? Yeah, that was his thing. You know what I mean? That was his whole thing.
He's in the exact same boat Santos was with the speech there.
As many of you are aware, in the past, I haven't been a big supporter of ethanol subsidies.
Yeah, there it is. He's not going to do it.
I know what you want to hear.
I love it.
Telling people what they want to hear is the easiest thing you can do in politics. But mostly, it's a windfall for huge conglomerates. I'm embarrassed by it, and I think you should be too.
I love him.
He's got guts.
He's got some stones on him. Say that.
Ethanol subsidies are not going to be a part of my agriculture policy.
Senator Arnold Vinick surprised many people.
Yeah, wow.
Yep.
This is what they should be doing, is drinking together.
Yeah.
Well, he may have his wallet, but he'll be down 4 points in the morning.
Ed, would you mind excusing us for a minute?
Yep.
Josh and I are going to have some words.
Stop handling my husband.
We're letting people know there's an alternative to Hoynes and Russell. Talking about ideas.
Making sense about ethanol?
Makes sense in Iowa, yeah. But we don't have to worry about Russell. Hoynes will find a way to take him down. Once Russell crumbles, his support will flow to Hoynes, unless someone has established themselves as not Hoynes.
Well, I'm going to bed. Please don't keep him up too late. He's tired.
Yeah, I don't think she liked her husband being called not Hoynes.
Yeah. I get it.
Yeah.
Josh, as I live and barely breathe.
Senator, how are you? You got some...
No, that's just Bob's way of packing a lunch.
That's so funny.
We co-sponsored a doomed immigration reform package a couple of years ago.
We fought the good fight, lit the good match. I read about that education plan you introduced in New Hampshire. That's pretty gutsy stuff.
So the ethanol speech.
Yeah.
I
You
love
guys,
this.
Russell and Hoynes, have come after me on that already. You lining up a shot for tomorrow?
I think I'll just sit this one out.
I'm with you on
say,
the
yeah.
tenure, but a longer federally mandated school year and...
Because right now, our local school boards and parents aren't making sure that our kids can compete in a tougher world marketplace.
Wouldn't be a democratic plan if it didn't involve more taxes.
Some things cost money, Arnie.
Who's going to administer all this? The Department of Education? Well, with my ethanol tantrum, I suspect my work here is done. My staff is very proud.
Well, if they weren't, I was.
Okay, I was wondering if we were going to get there.
Yep.
What do you think they're plotting over there?
Well, if your day's been anything like ours, I'd keep away the sharp cutlery.
When you end up a loser here, but you'll mop up with the national press. They'll be talking about how courageous your guy is.
What'd your guy do on ethanol?
We took the pledge. We're just trying to find a way to stay in the game.
Yeah, because there's an incumbent vice president.
Yep. And there's a respect for one another, too.
Yeah, they were talking policy. It wasn't personal stupidity.
No. And that's all it is now. That's why it's so cringeworthy, honestly.
No one was trying to insult each other on Twitter.
Doesn't it just make you a little embarrassed to see that, though? Or, like,
Yeah,
I just cringe when I see it.
All the time.
Desire. What's going on there, Will? What are you
Right,
thinking?
what's in your head there?
Yeah.
They really cast these last two seasons so well.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
It's absolutely perfect.
Is he a widower?
I was going to ask that. Did
She's not
they
there.
say?
They haven't, I don't think they've said.
Oh, my goodness. This is great.
This is so cool.
Look back, Josh.
Yeah.
And a fantastic shot.
This episode was photographed so well.
Photographed well, written well, edited well.
Yeah.
Morning. This is your 5:45 a.m. wake-up call.
Thank you.
And back at it again.
Right, he's back at it.
Okay, I honestly think this might be my favorite episode of the season so far.
This was really good.
Like, not just of the season. This might be my top 10 of the series so far. Like,
this was a great episode.
I loved that.
The oversaturation on the lighting, which
Yes.
we have not seen on the show really before.
No.
Maybe a moment here and there, like when Leo
Yeah.
had his heart attack, we did a little bit.
I think in the last Santos Josh campaign episode, that was kind of shot that way too.
Was it?
A little bit.
I can't recall, but I do like the starkness of it compared to like the soft lighting we've seen all through the bulk of the rest of the show when we were dealing with the Bartlett administration.
Yeah, and even like last week's episode was not shot like that. You know what I mean? Like
Nope.
it's a good contrast to what's all happening. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
It does feel like two separate shows in that way. And I love the juxtaposition of the campaigns this episode. You know what I mean? We got to see everybody's perspective.
We got all three. I like the fact that we got to really get a sense of where the show wants us to stand on each of the three candidates.
Yeah.
We're not into Hoynes yet, but I think we will be. I think they'll let us know we will be.
Yeah.
But you said it in Iowa during the Iowa caucus, and you take the corn issue and you know, kind of the absurdity around that, and then you let each candidate come down where they come down on it. And Bob Russell's the one who was like, well, I'll say whatever to get elected. I don't care.
We literally saw that scene where he was like,
right.
Well, I'm not going to do that. Like,
and we know now, I'm going to say I know now that Bob Russell is not going to be the weak candidate running against a preferred Republican candidate, because in this episode, in the last 10 minutes, and every time we were at the hotel, we never saw Bob Russell.
No.
We saw the other candidates, you know. We saw Jimmy Smits with his family in the hotel, right? We saw, obviously, Vinick in his hotel looking at the picture of his wife, who I'm assuming is passed. But we didn't see Bob Russell's hotel life. We didn't see him struggling with, you know, the grind of the schedule and everything. We saw his staff a little bit.
Yeah, we saw Donna. We saw Will.
We saw Donna and Will, but we didn't see him. I don't think he's going to be a major player in season 7.
I don't think so.
I really don't. I think he's going to get ground out pretty quickly. I think what they told us is correct here. I think it's going to come down to Hoynes versus Santos by the time it's all said and done.
You might be right, honestly, too. It's kind of, I don't want to say surprising, but it's also like interesting that they're not showing Hoynes as much as I thought they would. You know what I mean? I could have sworn we'd see more of that.
I can't believe we haven't seen anything yet of the Hoynes campaign. I don't know how deep they're going to get into it. Maybe we don't focus on it. Maybe what we're really going to focus on is
Santos and
Vinick, where Russell and Hoynes just get kind of wiped off the board early, or at least maybe not wiped off early, but at least they're not going to be the guy, so we're not going to follow them as closely.
Okay, so do you think that education is what's going to put Santos over the edge then?
It could be. Or it could be something completely new that hasn't happened yet.
That's true.
It could be this thing in Turkey. It could be another world issue that happens. Or it could be the right place at the right time with the right issue, which happens in every presidential campaign.
I will say this, though. The two candidates, Vinick and Santos, they have conviction.
They do.
Like, they're not just playing the game. Like, they have things they want to say.
No, this episode definitely showed us that Bob Russell should not be the guy.
And so what I'm thinking is that, like, you know, Vinick has showed that to the American people, right?
Right.
He's shown that, like you said, he's not popular in Iowa now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm waiting for the shoe to drop to where, like, you know, Santos gets that moment. You know what I mean? For people to be like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
You know, and then the fire spreads, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you've got both of these guys polling so low, which is great, because we're so early in the process.
Yeah.
Obviously, Super Tuesday and everything's coming. Will come up on the show. I don't know if it'll be season 6 or if it'll be season 7 till we really get rolling hard through the primaries.
Yeah.
But I'm with you. I'm very excited to see how they lurch ahead. Right, how they start taking the other guys down, how their popularity starts taking off.
Now, I'm assuming it's going to be maybe a finale situation, or like, you know, towards the end of this season, because I mean, this is episode 13,
right?
So we're getting towards it.
We're about halfway through.
And I think season 7 is when it gets really serious.
Sure,
that'd be my assumption, anyways. But
hard to say. We've guessed before, we've been wrong before as far as where we think their timelines are going to line up in the show with in terms of the administration and the campaigns and stuff.
Yeah,
we were really wrong on where we thought they were going to, you know, get into a campaign and how much they were. They barely did.
Yeah.
In the, you know, season 3, 4. But obviously it's going to be a bigger deal here. I would assume that relatively early in season 4, if not by the finale, we're pretty sure these two guys are going to be the candidates
in season 7.
So we have in season 7, right? So that we'll have their campaign largely define season 7, not exclusively, but largely.
I'm excited to see it grow.
Oh, for sure,
and especially since the fact that, like, they're both in the main title sequence now.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, okay, all right. Well, thank you for spoiling that for us. You know what I mean?
I don't mind, just simply because by the time you introduce Jimmy friggin' Smits and Alan friggin' Alda, it's like, okay, these guys are obviously going to be significant.
Hitters.
Yeah, exactly.
Ed O'Neill was the kind of like the misdirect there for a second,
for sure.
You know what I mean? But
and like, you know, we saw oh my God, what was his name? John Goodman's character.
What was his name?
He's a candidate. We saw his beans there.
Walken.
Yeah, we saw Walken's beans on the counter there. So he's a candidate, but we haven't seen 1 second of him. He's obviously not going to be the nominee. I think it's going to be Santos and Vinick.
Do you think we get another John Goodman episode? Do you think we see him again?
I mean,
or is that just largely to show us that, like, oh yeah, his character's still there, he's still around?
I don't know if we see or to what extent we see primary debates. I think we'll see them. I think you have to.
That'd be kind of cool.
I don't know if they bring back. I don't know. Maybe. It just seems like it'd be such like John Goodman would show up to stand on the stage and say 10 lines in a long episode.
It would be
it'd be weird.
Expensive episode.
It'd be a really expensive cameo because you'd have to pay him to stand out there a long time.
You would, unless they just edit around it or something.
Sure.
I don't know. But yeah, honestly, guys, I'm blown away by this episode. My favorite of the season so far. This is up there for amongst the best episodes of the show. Really, really great.
Excellent.
Really, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I cut you off there. I was going to say, just really excellent juxtaposition among the 3 candidates we saw.
I was going to say that. Yeah, we got to flesh out our candidates. We got to flesh out Vinick a little bit, and
thank God.
I
was missing him.
Me too, man.
All right, we'll catch you next, guys. Thanks so much for being here.
See ya.